Hi, I'm LifeCoachLANDRY, and the topic is sensitive people. There are many positive aspects to being a sensitive person, such as greater ability to listen, affirm, greater empathy, intuitive, better understanding of others' wants and needs. In this writing, that I read in the study I was reading about, I found it very interesting, but it focused on the high sensitivity and adverse in one's health. Okay, so I'm going to tell you some signs of a highly sensitive person. While many people may experience some of these signs from time to time, highly sensitive people just feel too much too often. They can often be a sign of high cortisol levels, adrenal fatigue, or they just feel too deep. Some individuals may have high sensitive to stimuli and strongly affected by things. And this can make relationships difficult, especially if you were someone who's not a highly sensitive person. Okay. Remember, in relationships, often no one's really wrong. You're just different. Okay. So here are some signs. They often have difficulty of letting go of negative thoughts and emotions, meaning when something happens, it simply doesn't come in, get processed, and go out. It lingers. Okay. 2, frequently feels physical symptoms such as a headache or pain in the chest. Okay. Number 3, often has bad days that affect their sleeping habits in unhealthy ways, such as eating and sleeping too much or too little. Okay. They often experience tension and anxiety. I did a great video on ashwagandha. Go look on my channel. That will help you with that. It's a natural supplement with low side effects. Number 5, tends to beat on oneself up when falling short of their own or somebody else's expectations. What's the problem with that? The problem is when the other person needs to talk to them about something they did wrong or something that's affecting the relationship, because they've already beat themselves up, they lack listening and empathy towards the approach from the other person because they believe I'm already working on it. And the problem with that is you're not giving the other person room to vent their feelings about a situation. That can create a lot of havoc in a relationship. Okay. Number 6, they're afraid of rejection even in relatively minor situations. Number 7, they compare themselves with others in physical, relational, social work, financial scenarios, unhappy feelings from negative social comparisons. Okay, this is the first level of sensitivity, by the way, I'm talking about. There's a couple different levels to it. They often feel anger or resentment about situations in life or in society which seem unjust, aggravating, or simply annoying. And their blood pressure will just go skyrocket. Okay, these are people who basically lack control of their emotions. And what they will find is they will struggle for the rest of their life unless they find a way to control it, or not basically control it, but find a better outlet for communicating it. Often the problem is the way they communicate it, not that they feel it. Okay. Now I'm going to move on to category 2. This is a much more severe kind of upper level thinking, so to speak. Okay. Category 2 would be they often worry about what others are thinking. Okay. They tend to take things personally on an ongoing basis. So it's always tense with them, right? Because anything can set them off or make them swing in a different mood. They find it difficult when triggered by relatively small unpleasantries, like people to just, let it go. They don't want to really confront the issue. They don't like confrontation. It makes them nervous. Okay. Obviously, the next one would be they feel hurt easily. Often hides negative feelings, believing they are too strong, turbulent, embarrassing, or vulnerable to share. It keeps a lot of their negative emotions inside. Keeping something inside that's negative or hurting you never helps. Okay? Note that. Alternatively, often discusses negative emotions with others because there's a lot of drama in one's life. Often they are the drama, but they talk about the relationship to others as if the relationship is always drama without looking at themselves as a common denominator. Okay? They often sign up for things and then their expectations aren't met and they sit in this emotional shallow hole for a really long time, and then they come out of it and then they remind themselves of it and they go back in it. Okay. Number 15 would be they have a hard time accepting critical feedback, even when it's given reasonably and constructively and consistently from somebody who loves them or is dating them or with them. Next one would be often feels like people are judgmental, even when there's no strong evidence that that's happening. Number 17 would be often overreacts to real or perceived sites of provocations. Number 18 would be often feels awkward in a group situation and is unable to be oneself. This is like a flip-flip. 50% of the time they want to get out, they want to interact with everybody. The other 50% of the time they withdraw, they hide out, they stay in a room, they don't come out as often, they're not socializing. Typically, this is more with women than men. Men typically don't like to socialize with groups of women unless it's a blend of men and women. Just so that's noted. Number 18, often feels awkward in a group. Where's that? Number 19, feels self-conscious in romantically intimate situations, excessively worries about the partner's approval, is unreasonably afraid of being judged or rejected by a partner. Okay. Now that's category 2. Now category 3 is sensitivity about environment. Okay. Feels uncomfortable in large public crowds, a room full of people. They're not the type that could get up and give a public speech without getting overly nervous, okay, because of the judgment they feel or the lack of confidence in themselves to give it. They feel uncomfortable when exposed to bright lights, loud sounds, or certain strong scents. Startles easily or sudden noises, fast traffic, or other unpleasant surprises, okay. Often feels upset when watching or reading negative news in the media, dislike shock entertainment, right? These people can't handle the change in something going from normal to shocking. Okay. I'm a very calm person. When I see things, I adapt to the situation. I often find myself better under pressure. So I'd be the opposite of overly sensitive. Okay. Often feels unhappy when following people's posts on social media. Again, like I said, although there are many positive traits to this type of personality, being a highly sensitive person, I'm focusing on the aspects of in which adversely affects one's happiness, well-being, and their relationships with which they want to work, but they seem to keep causing melodrama or consistent frustration in it. Okay, for many highly sensitive people, the key to kind of managing oversensitivity is using emotional immunity, so to speak, or sensory immunity strategies in psychology to calm and alleviate things. Trusting in the person you're with, that they have your best interest when they're talking to you. They're not talking from a place of judgment. They're talking from a place of change. Okay. For those who live and work in highly or with highly sensitive individuals, my advice would be effective communication. Skills are a must to foster positive relationships. And to the people who are highly sensitive, become a better listener than a reactionary person and work on that for yourself. Okay. So I hope this helps. I get a lot of, emails from people who are seeking advice on, this person did this to me and this really hurt my feelings. And I have to remind people are different. And because we're different, stop putting people in they've done something wrong to you or bad categories. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I'm saying the majority of the time in the things I read, it's a different perspective that's causing the issue, not what the person's feeling. And often there's nothing wrong with their perspective being different, but how it's being communicated is usually causing the problem. So review these 24 things that I just read off. Think about them. Mark down how many. If you have, I would say more than 10, then I would consider yourself a highly sensitive person. If you have more than 8, you're a medium sensitive person. If you have more than 16, you're a highly sensitive person. If you have below 8, you're probably not overly sensitive. You're what we would consider in the psychological world normal. Okay. So I hope this helps you. If you have any questions on it, if you want me to elaborate or do a follow-up on a specific part of this, leave your comments below and I will talk to you soon.